So how do you conduct a successful nanny or house help interview? What questions do you ask them? What is that information that you need to find out from them? Stay with me as we discuss this today. Hi, good people. My name is Irene, and this is Hairy Lifestyle, where we are all about a healthy, wholesome lifestyle. So in my last video, I did a video where we talked about 12 tips that I have implemented in my own life to have a better relationship with my nanny. From that video, I got a lot of questions and a lot of inquiries, and I decided to do a second and a third video to do with nannies. So for this video, I sent to my friends a few questions in this topic. I asked them where they source their nannies, how they interview their nannies, what are the red flags and what are the deal breakers when they're conducting an interview and when they're actually living with a nanny. And I want to thank every friend of mine who responded and gave me some answers. They have really helped me as I have researched and prepared for this video. So in this video today, we are going to be looking at the actual interview. You have already sourced a nanny, and now you need to go and sit down with them and interview them. And I'm going to give you 7 stages or 7 broad categories that I go through when I'm interviewing a nanny. So it has taken me a lot of time, and over the last 15 years, and after conducting numerous interviews and feeling very frustrated, I have come up with these stages that have guided me, and I have to say that it has gotten easier with time. So stage 1 in your nanny interview is actually a preparation stage. Before you conduct the nanny interview, you need to yourself be very ready and very prepared. And by preparation, I mean you need to select a good place where you're conducting this interview. You have to feel safe, you have to feel comfortable. The nanny has also to be able to be comfortable so that they can be able to speak freely. You also need to ensure that you have enough time to conduct the interview. You need to go with some notes or a printout so that you don't forget anything. Sometimes when we try to work from memory, we later discover, oh, I should have asked this, I should have been more keen on this and all that. And the other thing I think is very important to do, and that I do, you have to be in the right frame of mind. Realize that 80% of the interview is all about observation, and only 20% is actually about the questions that you're asking. You want to carry with yourself a very observant mind, a very discerning heart, because you want to read her body language, you want to read in between the lines, you want to hear what she's saying, but you want to hear what she's actually not saying. How is she conducting herself? Is she looking at you? Is she nervous? Does she look like she's lying? So this day you have to be the cop. You have to come here like an investigating cop and be ready to read her body language, be in the right place and in the right state of mind. The second stage in my nanny interviews has to do with me now finding out about herself. So in this section, I want to ask as many questions as possible to establish as many facts about this nanny as possible. How old is she? Where does she come from? Where is her home? Where are her parents? Does she have siblings? Is she married? Is she divorced? Is she separated? Does she have children? How old are her children? Who is taking care of her children? Where are her children living? Does she have relatives here in Nairobi? Are her children living here in Nairobi with her, or are they up country with someone else, like a relative or like a mother? You also want to find out about her hobbies. What does she like? What does she not like? You also want to find out about her health status. Does she have any conditions? Does she have asthma or anything, or allergies, food allergies, anything that would stop her from working well? You also want to find out about her religious beliefs and her social beliefs. She's the person who's going to be taking care of your children, and that is something that is very, very important. You want to find out everything you can about this house help. In this section, you also need to remember to find out about her future plans. What are her plans? Does she plan to work for 2 years or 3 years or 1 year? Is she looking forward to going back to school or getting married or starting a business? What are her future plans? This will help you gauge a lot. And don't forget to ask for identification documents. That is extremely important. Make sure you get a valid ID from her. Onwards to our third category, or the third section of our nanny interview. Here you want to find out all about her work history. You want to find out where she has worked before, how many jobs she has held, where those jobs were, and what they were all about. How many children was she taking care of? What were her roles and responsibilities, and how many jobs are those? How long did she stay with each employer? And is she able to even tell you why she left employment? Everything to do with her work experience. Does she know how to cook? Does she know how to clean? What is it that she enjoys doing in the house? What are the chores that she enjoys? And what are the chores that she does not enjoy? Make sure you find out what she likes and what she doesn't like doing. That will tell you a lot about her. A lot of people like to also work with scenarios where you can ask a nanny, what would you do in such a situation? What if a child is unwell? How would you react to that? So you can take her through a few scenarios that will help you gauge how well she understands her work, how well she understands running a home. So in this section, we are trying to find out everything to do with her work history. Try and find out if she has any references, work references. Are you able to call former employers and talk to them? I haven't found that to be very easy, but in case you're able to, that's a good thing. Make sure you also get references other than work references. It could be a pastor or a church leader or community leader, a teacher, maybe she's been in a training institution. You really do want to get some references, somebody who knows her at a personal level, who can be able to vouch and let you know if the things that she has told you about herself are true. So in this section, that is what you're going to be looking at: her work experience, her references, and all that. We are in the fourth section of our nanny interview, and it is in this section that I want to find out everything to do with money and benefits. Here I want to find out what she's expecting in terms of her salary, what is she's expecting in terms of her off days. There are some nannies who want to actually take 2 off days, like Saturday and Sunday. There's some nannies who will say, I'm comfortable just taking Sunday off from this time to this time. You also want to find out what her expectations are in terms of her leave days. There are some nannies who want to take leave days every time there's a school holiday. There are other nannies who want to be off on every public holiday, and there are those ones who want to take all their leave days in December. So you do want to discuss the issue of off days and of leave days. Here you also want to find out if she has already registered for NHIF, and you want to discuss the monthly deductions that need to happen for you to be compliant with NHIF. In terms of money, you also want to discuss the issue of overtime. How much does she expect to be paid when she works overtime? Is she also willing to be flexible enough such that in case something comes up and she has to work maybe extra hours, or she needs to work during her off days, would she be willing to do that? Section 5, or category 5 of our nanny interview, this is where you want to now lay out your offer. Now you need to tell her what you are offering and what you're hiring for. How many children do you need her to take care of? What is the structure and the size of your home? What will you be expecting her to do every single day? What is your offer in terms of a salary and in terms of benefits? What are you offering in terms of leave days? What are you offering in terms of off days? Yeah, you now sit down and tell her what your offer is. What are you putting on the table? What is it that you are hiring for? What is it that you're looking for? What are those things that are very, very important for you? What need are you trying to fill? What are you hiring her for? So give her all the details about the job that you are hiring for. Let her know how many children she'll be taking care of. Let her know what time she's expected to wake up and what her responsibilities are going to be. Let her know how much you're going to be paying and how much you're going to be giving her in terms of overtime and when she works extra days. You also need to let her know how you plan to increase her salary. Do you increase once a year, or do you increase after how long? You want to discuss and let her know what your policy is when she's wanting to leave you. Does she need to give you 1 month notice? And what happens if she's not able to give you notice? We are now on the 6th section of our nanny interview, and this is a question and answer section. Make sure that she asks you any questions that she has and that you answer those questions truthfully. When she's asking you these questions, you will get to learn a lot about her, because people ask questions about things that they care for. If her questions have to do with money, then you know money is very important to her. If her questions have to do with particular chores, then you begin to know which chores she doesn't like doing and what she enjoys doing. If she's asking you whether you'll be around, whether you work from home, ask yourself why she's asking you such questions. So the question and answer section is very, very important, and it tells you so much about the person that you are going to be hiring or you're considering to hire. Also, remember that you can revisit any of these sections and ask questions that maybe you didn't ask, or ask for clarification. So these are just loose categories for you to work with. You can move from any category and you can revisit any of these categories at any particular time. Make sure that by the end of that interview, you are fully satisfied and you've gotten all the information that you need. Having received and analyzed the information that you have gotten so far, you will need to make a decision whether you are hiring this person to work for you. And if you do decide to hire this person, then we move to the last section of the interview, and this is the post-interview section. This is where you put your girl on probation. You may not tell her she's on probation, or you may actually tell her she's on probation, but the interview is not over until this girl works for you for a particular amount of time. It may be 1 month, it may be 3 months, where you are really observing and seeing how she's working. Remember, everything she has told you so far, or everything she told you during the interview section, you really can't verify how true or how false that information is. You will only get to know as you live with this person and as she works for you. This is actually where the rubber meets the road. Observe her and see how she's working. See how she's interacting with your children. See how she's understanding your home and the chores that are ahead of her every single day. Is she consistent? Is she of a good nature and of a good mood? You will learn so much within the first few weeks of your girl working for you. And this is a very big part of the interview process. Now, in case it doesn't work out and things don't turn out the way you thought they would turn out, and if the things she has told you so far were not even true, make sure you let go of that relationship. A lot of us mothers endure bad house helps because we're just worried. We don't know how to fire. We don't know how to tell somebody, pack your bags and go. But in this post interview session where she's working for you, if things are not working out, release her and do it quickly and do it in the best way possible. During the probation period, make sure you find out a lot more information about her. Now she's at your home and she's more relaxed. You can be able to prod deeper and find out more about her. And make sure that now everything is fully verified. You know how to trace her. You have called her family. You know who her friends and her family, whether here in Nairobi or up country, are, and who they are actually, and that you have contact details. Make sure you verify all those little facts so that in case of anything, you can fully trace this person and you know exactly where to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something or two. I hope this is a structure that you can implement in your own life or add to what you already have. Feel free to add any other questions you have. Should you have any observations or any questions or anything that you think I missed, go to the comment section and comment below. Let's continue educating one another. I will also link below the first video I did to do with the 12 tips of having a good relationship with your house help. In case you didn't watch that, it's a very good video to watch and then follow up with this other video so that you fully understand this issue of house help from my opinion, from where I stand. Thank you very much. This is Irene. This is Heri Lifestyle. Kindly subscribe if you haven't and hit that notification bell. Asanteni sana for hanging out with me. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.